we've just come from elections, and yeah, it's pretty much time for things to start, like politics is fast, bro. We don't have all day, niggas need to start forming things. The teams need to start teaming. The strategies need to start strategizing. Niggas, we need some things in place. We need the parliament needs to start working. The ministries need to start being fulfilled. The municipality, people must get to work, bro. We must get, the election is over. Let's stop sobbing. Hey, saying, why, they lost. So let's move on. It's time to cook, guys. It's time to cook. So they pretty much, what's happening next is that they're proposing this thing called a government of national unity. What is it? No one fucking knows, man. It sounds like an Avenger or something. The Avengers versus the government of national unity. Dun, dun, dun. Round one. Still. Let's see who steals the most. I'm kidding. But anyway, so this government of national unity, we want to find out what is this, what's going on. And yeah, so I got a video here by SMWX, hosted by very own Sizwe Mpofu Welsh. He is the son of Dali Mpofu Welsh, who's a very well-known, prominent advocate in the South. So yeah, he's got this podcast of his. I don't know, it's like a podcast show. I don't know. For me, I get confused when I feel like if there's no one else there, it can't be a podcast. You know what I mean? I feel like you can't have a podcast by yourself. So I feel like it's more of a show. You know what I mean? So yeah. And he does politics, he does South African politics, and he pretty much breaks down everything. So everything you need to know when it comes to the ticks, he's got it. To the polo, he's got it. That's why he's got a polo neck. So yeah, he's going to explain to us what is this national government of national unity, what's going on, what's the vibes, is it real, is it fake, what's the vibes, so let's go, take it away.
Government of national unity. Okay, so first gripe. What is being proposed is not a government of national unity, and I wish people would stop calling it a government of national unity, because I very much doubt that's actually where we're heading. I'm going to back that up by showing you exactly what a government of national unity actually is, how it worked in South Africa before, how it has worked in other examples, particularly in Africa, where it's a common form of power sharing. We in fact lead the world in this unique device for creating political consensus. And then also just showing you how this that's being proposed in South Africa is not a government of national unity. It's being called a government of national unity for political reasons, largely to create a feeling of nostalgia for 1994 and to give the ANC political cover for going into a coalition, multi-party as it may be, with the DA.
Hi.
Wow, that's crazy. So it's not actually that, them niggas lying. Already their lying has started. Whoa. So it's pretty much, it's a multi-party coalition. So it's not a government of national unity. I don't know. Sizwe is gonna kill it more.
Used by all and sundry in very, very unhelpful and inaccurate ways. A government of national unity is not just a coalition. It's a particular and special kind of coalition that, surprise, surprise, includes national unity. Now, what does that mean? It's a particular kind of coalition that, unlike other coalitions which just seem to create or try to create a governing coalition, where you get over 50% of the seats in parliament and you're able to govern, a government of national unity tries to secure the widest possible representation of two things. Legal, the big political parties, and at least somewhere around. It's instituted to try kind of coalition that, unlike other coalitions which just seem to create or try to create a governing coalition, where you get over 50% of the seats in parliament and you're able to govern, a government of national unity tries to secure the widest possible representation of two things: the biggest parties in an election and the widest possible representation of the electorate itself. So what does that mean? It means that a government of national unity will usually include at least all the parties that are above 10% of the vote. It will usually represent up to 90% of the electorate, maybe sometimes 85, but that's how much representation there is in a government of national unity. And the reason for that is a government of national unity is usually instituted at a time of crisis or transition or both. So it's instituted to try and make sure that the government is as legitimate as possible, has as much public support as possible, and therefore cannot be questioned on political grounds, and also reduces the likelihood of massive opposition to that government because the opposition is actually subsumed within the government. So that's what a government of national unity is. Usually at times of...
So it's pretty much all the niggas all the parties, if you got 10%, join the force. You're part of the government of national unity. So it's supposed to include like 90% of the people of the parties that ran. So this one that they're saying is only going to include like 3 parties, I think. So I don't know.
The crisis or transition, most, if not all, the big political parties, and at least somewhere around 90% of the electorate represented. And that's exactly what we saw in South Africa. So just to try and understand the historical picture in more clarity, the South African government of national unity in 1994, as we transitioned out of apartheid, was the first government we ever had. Funnily enough, most people think it lasted until the end of that term. It only lasted 2 years. It fell apart because the National Party pulled out of the Government of National Unity, citing their own political concerns. I want to have a deep look into the 94 Government of National Unity because it's important to actually contrast that government against what is being proposed here. And you'll see that there are dramatic differences, so that what is being proposed right now, I don't think can even be called the Government of National Unity. So let's take a look first at the cabinet, which is the creation of the Government of National Unity, right? You have the ANC, which has just got, I think it was somewhere around between 62 and 65% of the vote. The National Party has about 20% of the vote.
Okay, so he's doing a lot of maths now. So he's pretty much talking about, he's giving like the criteria of what a national government is. So we're just going to skip past that.
But we need to call things by their actual names. A Government of National Unity would include all the big parties. I would say ANC, MK, EFF, DA, all of you come together, and that would be a Government of National Unity. Just because you have a lot of political parties that are small parties, which seems to be what's being proposed here. So get all the 1% parties to the table, plus ANC and DA and IFP. That doesn't make it a Government of National Unity. It just makes it a very big multi-party coalition. So that's one difference with the Mandela cabinet and the current proposal, which seems to either exclude the DA or MK and EFF in the more likely scenario. In a Government of National Unity as well, power is shared proportionately to vote share. So remember I said the ANC got between 62 and 65, I can't remember the exact figure, 94, NP got 20, IFP got 10. They shared cabinet roughly proportionately to that. So, okay, it doesn't add up to 100%, those of you who are hawk-eyed arithmeticians. But what they did is they said, okay, it added up to about 90% if you added all those three parties together, the ANC, NP, and IFP. And if you then expanded that to 100, and you took the proportional representation of that, that's how many cabinet seats each party got. So in a nutshell, the ANC got the same number of cabinet seats, or the same percentage of the cabinet, as it had the percentage of the vote, right? So my question would be the ANC be happy with that? If we had a true Government of National Unity, which had all the biggest parties, and let's say we were representing 85, 90% of the electorate, then the ANC would only get between 40 and 50% of cabinet. Would ANC be happy with that? Because that's what a Government of National Unity is. You see?
Yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Jeez, hey, that sounded like a politics lecture, Baba. Yo, I should have taken some notes. But yeah, I think he explained it very well. I understand now that politicians are wrong to call it what it's not. They're proposing a multi-party coalition. It's not actually a Government of National Unity. Yeah, but we'll see, man. Whatever the idea is, just bring it to the table. Let's start working, man. Let's start working. Because niggas gonna sit around, develop ideas the whole fucking year. Then we're gonna lose 6 months because niggas are trying to figure out how they're gonna work together. Either way, everybody must work together. So it doesn't matter what the hell they wanna call it. We just need things to start working. Corruption end, service delivery up, corruption down. Then we are good. Let's go. Whatever you wanna call it, National Unity, Avengers of the government, whatever you wanna call it, bro. Call it what you wanna do. As long as you niggas get to work and start working for real, you know? So yeah, shout out to Caesar, man. You guys go subscribe to his channel. Very dope. He's got the ticks on Paula Lock. Anyway, cool. Let's move on.
Bust, I told that baby go. Bust.